Hello everyone, time for another Dave's Tractor blog. I'm not going to talk about, well I am going to talk about tractors tonight, but this week is an important week for us normally. It's the third full weekend in September coming up, and the third full weekend in September is the date when we hold our St Mawgan Vintage Rally. And it's usually very good, we've got a lot of support, have a great time. We all look forward to it. It's a big local event, and this year, of course, we can't have it. So I thought I'd do a blog on it just so there was something about it. Now, the rally started in 2004, and this would be our 16th one coming up. But it was started by Maurice Raby, who owns the rally fields, or owned the rally fields. Poor chap passed away a few years ago now, but hopefully the rally that he started, you know, we've got a good legacy there. His two sons still farm the ground, and they have it, and we've overflowed that grain considerably now, and thanks to their neighbours, the Chapmans, you know, we can still cope. We use the neighbouring fields for car parking, and all of Morris's land is now the rally. It's a great local event. We've worked hard at it. We've been very lucky. Morris was probably the only practical farmer, and he was a builder actually, but he did farm, and to manage the rally itself would have been impossible. So we had to get help in. Now St Mawgan is very lucky because they've got a group of charity fundraisers called the Eccentric Gentlemen, and eccentric they certainly are, but they're great. You know, they work hard at it, and they got into the rally really well and made it very successful. It was always known as the Friendly Rally. Unfortunately, when it first started, I couldn't be there. I was committed to doing the Newbury show in Berkshire, and it was a show that was very difficult to get into, so I couldn't give up my place to come back to the St Mawgan Rally, much as I wanted to. So I was away all that weekend, and you know, come back, how did it go? Oh, fantastic, you know, had a great time, and oh bugger, missed that again. And that went on for probably 5 years every time I missed it, because Newbury show is also the third full weekend in September. So I was pretty disappointed about that, but it slowly grew, and I think it was about 2009 that I actually got back to the rally. I was up at the rally, up at Newbury, and I did the Saturday there, and unfortunately I'd lost my mother, and she used to come and see me at that show, and it just got to me a bit, and I thought, I don't want to be here. So the rep that was helping me, I said, look, you're going to have to manage, I'm going. And I came back Saturday night and went to the rally on the Sunday, and I'd got the first of my tractor collection there, really, my super major. So I came back and drove my tractor, and I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't doing any organising. Anyway, my mate Timmy, he was on the microphone and doing a good job, his usual entertaining way, and it was all right. And I didn't really get involved. I have an intention of getting involved other than being an exhibitor there. So but the following year I got involved with helping Timmy at another rally, and he wanted me to help him on the microphone, and I wasn't I've got to say I wasn't that confident doing it, but I had a go, and you know, you learn as you go on. So I did the tractors, and then the following year I helped him at St Mawgan Rally, and the following year, so that would have been 2011, it was a big birthday for me, and the Eccentric Gentleman helped me out by putting up a marquee for us. So as a return, I helped them put the rally marquee up in the September. My birthday was in the August, and the rally was September, so I went and helped them, and you know, that was the beginning of the end, really. I got involved, and as is my way, I couldn't keep quiet. So if I could see anything that could be improved, I would say about it. So because I'd had so much experience with shows, I knew a lot more than anybody else, and that's not bragging. You know, when you go to shows, you know how exhibitors should be treated. You know how, you know, the things that can annoy you, and so I, you know, I made some suggestions to them, and you know, oh, you come on board, Dave. You come and help us. So, well, you know, you're the eccentric gentleman. I'm not, and I've got a very good reason for not being one of the eccentric gentlemen, but it's to do with the acronym they use, which is SME, the St Mawgan Eccentric Gentlemen's Mutual Association, and I hate it. I said, there's no way I'm putting those initials on my shirt, and if you don't know what it means, I suggest you go and look, and you tell me if I'm wrong. But anyway, they have learnt now, and they'll never be known as anything other than smegma, but they are known most of the time as eccentric gentlemen, which is great. But I can still do more for them. I do help them a lot, but I can do more for them on the outside than I can on the inside. So I keep out of it, and they do their own thing with a bit of outside help from me. Anyway, that's enough about that. I want to show you what St Mawgan Rally is all about. This is a video that was made. It wasn't last year. It could be 3 or 4 years ago, but it just typifies what we've got to now. So I'll do that for you a minute and see what you think.
Nice to see you. High five. Oh, have you got your sticker yet? Have you got your sticker?
Now there's as you can see from the film, there's a huge amount going on there, and but it didn't start like that. We built on it. And when I was in the ring with Timmy, I realised that there was a lot of spare spaces, and Timmy was aware of it as well, and he'd say, "Oh, I'll get a steam engine to come in and go around, and get the motorbikes to come in and go around." But I said, "Well, that's not really, not really doing the thing." So I said, "Let's get some cones in here, and we'll do a bit of tractor driving skills." And we thought that'd be really popular, and in a way it was, but getting people to come in and do it was absolute mayhem. I really had to twist their arms to get in and do it. And once they'd done it, gone in there and had a go, it was just simply weaving in there some cones, start off in a place, weaving in there some cones, drive back through the cones again and reverse into, we call it a barn. It was 4 cones. The one they came out of was a shed, and that was 4 cones. But it was good fun. And there was some that tried to do it too fast, and we had a milk churn stood in the back, so you've got to be a bit steady about that. And it was always a challenge. But what I knew from a long time ago, I had to go in one of these competitions at the Royal Show many years ago, and I tried to beat the clock. You can't beat the clock. It's nice and steady. That's how you do it. And so the second time I had to go at the Royal Show, I knew what I was doing a bit better, and I didn't win anything, and didn't break any records, but I did realise that. So I found that if you went at the St Mawgan one and you just went on gently, and we got it so if you hit a cone you got penalties, and if you knock a churn over you got penalties. So as long as you get through penalty free, you were in the lead, and I could lead it. And of course, once I could lead it, then others would have a go and try and beat me. So it was a bit of devilment really, and but it's good fun. And then we get people that have come in and they'd never driven a tractor before, so well, have a go. And we did what we shouldn't do at all really, sit beside them or stand behind them on the tractor and just guide them round. And they were absolutely over the moon to be able to drive these tractors. And it was only not bottom gear, but 3rd gear, very gentle. If you'd slipped off the drawbar you wouldn't have gone very far. So it was reckless but safe. We shouldn't really do it, but we did it, and it worked. And I wouldn't say we wouldn't do it now. Just come to the rally and you'll find out. Anyway, so it was quite popular. It worked, and that meant we got a few things going. And so, okay, what can we do next? Well, at the time, Timmy had got 3 or 4, no, probably more than that, 5 Fords majors, and I'd probably got 4. So I said, "Oh, I reckon we could have a display team here, Tim. We've got enough tractors." So the seed was sown, and for St Mirren Rally, who we help out a lot, they help us out, we help them out. For St Mirren Rally, I had some leaflets made. If anybody interested in coming into a tractor display team, we got the idea for the Fords and Majorettes, so we said, Fords and Major, come and join us, and that was it. Well, it went absolutely flat. Nobody volunteered, and that was it. But by the time we got to our rally, the word was out that Dave Taylor was going to have his display team there. And I thought, oh, Christ, I didn't say I was going to do that. I just said we could do it. Anyway, it was like a challenge, and of course we did it. So I persuaded, bullied, cajoled a few people into having a go, and we got, I think it was 8 tractors we got ready for the first year, and our youngest driver was 15, our oldest one was 74, a lot of mixtures in between. We got drivers that had never driven a tractor. We got one, Darren, that was working with me at the time. He'd never driven a tractor, and I sent him to pick one up. I said, "Oh, go and get the power major from St Column and bring it back to the rally field." And of course off he went. When he got back to the field, he said, "Oh, I didn't know a tractor was that much different to a car." But it was all right. Actually training them to do it, I did the routine, and training them to do it was challenging because I didn't know how to train them, So I had a long stick and I'd point at them, but they couldn't hear me, and it was a shambles. but we had to do something. So we we went on a Saturday morning. We thought we were going to be, well, we won't take long to do this, but it wasn't quite like that. And I realised that you can't train them on a tractor. They could all drive a tractor, but you can't train them on it. So I got them off, and I said, right, we've got to practice this on foot. Oh, we can't practice it on foot. But that's what we did. And suddenly it all came together. You know, they understood what we were talking about, and I was able to say, you know, you've got to keep in line, you've got to do this, watch the front wheels. And I realised very quickly that if you're doing display work, you haven't got to worry about anybody else but the person next to you. And if that person worries about the person next to them, and you all drive with your front wheels side by side, you can get a very straight line. And it's no good looking. You must not look and see how the line is. You've got to concentrate on what you're doing next door. And the lead tractor is the only one that has to remember the routine, because everybody else follows it. So it's not quite as simple as I'm saying there, but you get the gist of it. And so now that we've got a team that know what they can do, if we want to drop a new driver in, you know, a couple of hours practice and they've got it off. So it becomes quite simple. So the Fordson Majors, the 8 team was instant success. The kids loved it. People, the crowds were around the ring taking photographs, and that was very, very good. At the time, we got to the next year and we had 10 tractors in the team then, and that was good. We also used to have a man called Roy Gilbert, brilliant digger driver. Used to come down with his case. Used to come down with 3 case diggers, and they'd do a digger display team. We got the dancing diggers there, and then one dropped out, and it was 2, and then Roy came there and he was on his own, and I got on well with Roy. We could have a bit of fun, and Roy's party trick was to drop the digger over and break an egg, and it was you've got to go a long way down to break an egg with a back jack. And one time he did actually drop the digger on its side and he couldn't get it back, and we had to physically go and lift it to get the oil into the pump so he could push himself back up. So a little bit of excitement. But Roy unfortunately fell ill, and he tried to get somebody else to do it, and they weren't as keen as Roy was, and you know, just the same wasn't the rapport. But at St Mirren Rally, again, which is pretty well the first rally in the season, whereas as the last, I was on the microphone there doing Roy's routine really, and when Roy laid the digger over and do the egg, I said, come on, anybody else can have a go. And I knew that out in the crowd watching was a mate of mine, Roger Carhart, who drives the JCB. And I, come on, Roger Carhart, you come out and have a go on the thing. And because Roger Carhart found reverse gear and he was going backwards fast, but his mates were there with him, and he was apt to be by a skip and he couldn't get away. And they kept on doing. I knew I'd got him beat, so I kept on. Come on, Roger, come on, don't be a wimp, get out there and do it. And eventually, you know, I could see him calling me a bastard and all sorts of things as he came out. But he got on the digger and he laid it over and he cracked the egg. And afterwards, he was still calling me all sorts of names. But after he said, I love that. I'm glad you got me to go and do it. So, right, I got a chink in his armour then. So the following year, I said, come on then, Roger, for St Mirren Rally, let's do dancing diggers. Now, Roger works for a chap called Ronald Weldon. Ronald's been a mate of mine for years. We go back to when he was a schoolboy, really. He's a little bit younger than me. Same age group, but a little bit younger. Just get that one in, because he loves that. And he's got diggers, so I said, we need a team. So Roger got a team, and we got 4 JCBs. And I did a routine for them, and we trained them. Ronald was one of the first drivers as well. And it was a challenge, but we made it work, and they did a good job. And their first showing was at St Mirren Rally. And so I'll show you a little bit of that. Right, so now we're on there. We've got quite a display coming on. We've got routines going on in the ring. It's not just a parade of vintage vehicles. We've got features that are there that you know, it's getting it's crowd participation. You've got to get the crowd behind you, and we got it. You know, they love these tractors roaring about in the black smoke, and the diggers when they came in with all the lights flashing, headlights on, and that, and you know, and they were doing all the tricks JCB dancing diggers are doing, and it was brilliant. And because they were worried to death, the drivers, oh, we made a mistake here. I said, mate, there's nobody sees it. The only one that notices it is me, because I know what should happen. And I said, and if it goes badly wrong, it just gives me ammunition for the microphone, which is great because I can tease them. They can't hear it because they're in the cab, and so it was really good. So we got the dancing diggers then, so that was excellent. Fords and majorettes, the dancing diggers, and we had those at St Mawgan Rally, and we'd been promoting our gate better, you know. We started getting the numbers in, and we were making good money for charity. Really, we'd got a fair chunk to chuck away, so it was wonderful. So then it was, what do we do next? Well, one of the things we picked out was Darren Jonas has got a Scammell, big Scammell Highwayman recovery vehicle, and I said to him one day, you know, what do you reckon you could pull with that then? Well, have a go at anything, you see. So, right, how about if we put, and I've sort of worked it out, 6 Fords and majors would be about the same weight, so we rigged up 6 Fords and majors to pull against it. So it was the Scammell Challenge. We had it in the programme, a Scammell Challenge, and we set it up. God, I couldn't believe how, you know, the crowd loved it. They just loved these tractors, and they were as fascinated with the hooking them on, getting them all lined up. And then we stood back and we gave them the signal, and I mean the Scammell just dragged them backwards like it's just so easy. So well, what were we going to do about that? We couldn't do anything. It was it. So come the Sunday, that was on the Saturday. Come on the Sunday, we had to do it again, and I thought it was going to be a walkover again, but the ground had dried up a bit, and this time the majors pulled the Scammell backwards. So right, that's a draw, declared it a draw. What are we going to do next year? And so that started the Scammell Challenge off. So I'll show you a bit of the Scammell Challenge. We've tried to pick something different every year. We had 3 counties on it one year. 3 counties, 2 of them broke down before they got to the field, so we had to come back with the majors. Well, the majors, they pulled the Scammell again. The following day, we got 2 of the counties back, and I put the old Dutra on it, my Dutra, and they walked it. They were dragging it backwards until the connection to the Dutra snapped, and then the Scammell pulled the counties back. So draw again. We got a draw. So. And we've had something different every year, and then we finished up. We had a tank. We got a tank in there, armoured recovery vehicle, not armoured personnel carrier, and that could cross that thing can pull. I mean, that just pulled it like you wouldn't believe. But it was another challenge, and in the year when we put that in, we got the majors in there again, and it was just good fun. You know, we had 3/4 an hour of hooking different things on to do it. And then I had a call come in from the steam engines, and Dave Goodwin, who's got the Gladiator, which is a showman's engine, he said, could he come in and have a go? And I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, Gladiator has got to be worth close on £1 million. It's a fabulous showman's engine. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if we pull the back off that engine, you know, what's going to happen? But anyway, I saw Dave and I said, look, are you okay with this? Yeah, I'll have a go. He said, that's all right. You know, that's what it's built for, isn't it? And I was thinking, oh, shit, it wasn't worth that much money. Anyway, Martin Chapman, who owns the personnel carrier, I went to him and I said, look, Martin, I don't want you to, you can beat him, but for Christ's sake, don't break that machine. No, it's all right. I got automatic box. I can play. So I said, well, play the showman a bit, you know, let him have a go first. And I could see the tank pulling the Gladiator back. But he did to start with, and then Martin let the Gladiator pull, and then he'd pull it backwards, and that was it. But then Goody was pretty smart, and he held it, and he spun the wheels on Gladiator and sat himself in a bit of a rut, and he just sat there, and that tank couldn't shift it. Draw again, right? What are we going to do for next year? So this has been going on, and last year we had somebody else, or Dan Powell had bought a Scammell as well, so we got his Scammell in there, and there's another big, I forget the name of the tank. It's another Scammell. It's an ex tank recovery vehicle, and that belongs to Andrew Simmons, and it was, another big grunting thing. So we got a fair mix there we could do, and we were going to put those together, but it was just a little bit too wet to really play. So the last time we did it, we just had the Scammells dragging the whole thing around the ring. We kept hooking stuff on until it couldn't pull anymore. And we didn't actually beat it just kept pulling. So again, very entertaining. Right, I'll show you a little bit of that. So we got all these different things going in the ring, different events, and I mean they were good. We were more entertaining. I didn't want big parades after that because we got a full ring program, and we did other things. I did a ploughing through the century pageant, and that was really good. What I did was my dad was born in 1906, and I was don't look it now, but I was a late child really. He was 45 when I was born, so we could look back over 100 years. So I did a pageant called Ploughing Through the Century, and I had something from every decade through the century, and I was able to talk about it, and I could relate to my dad and to me and what we'd done right up to the present day. And people were transfixed by it because I come from a farming family and I understand what goes on, but they had not a clue what was there. And when we finished up with a great big Massey Ferguson in there with a big reversible plough, and he was in there turning this thing over, and then we had it drive around the ring next to a T20 as the finish. We started with 2 Shire horses in there, and it was brilliant. And I was able to, the ring was about an acre, and I was able to say how long it would take to plough the acre, and it got back to the finale one was a big Massey Ferguson that's got the world record, not the one we got in the ring, but the one that was there, and it was, this thing would do in seconds what the horses would do in a day, so it was quite good. We'll do that again because that was good, and I'll get some more stuff to do it. So we need longer days really. Anyway, our display teams now are getting really popular. People are then saying, "Oh, what you can do next, Dave?" And, "Oh, bloody hell!" I've got this reputation for starting these display teams now. So, but one thing that come out of the Fords and Majorettes was I'd had 2 or 3 women had said they'd love to go and do the Fords and Majorettes. So it was the 70th year of the Fergie T20, and I thought, let's have half a dozen Fergies in the ring and see what they'll do. So I put a request on Facebook and another one in the parish magazine and said, any women interested in driving some Fergies at the rally, we just want to do a little display team, thinking half dozen Fergies. I had 27 women volunteered, and you think, shit. Now that was a challenge. They were all willing. more so enthusiasm than the men had got. But and you'll have to forgive me, ladies, now, because some of you hadn't got a clue, and when I say hadn't got a clue, I mean they hadn't got a clue, and it was a huge challenge. In fact, I started to do it, and I couldn't do it. It was too much in a way. So my daughter Kathy, who was going to be in the team, I said, look, you're going to have to help me to keep them in order, because I can't be looking everywhere. There's too many things going on. And we'd done the walkthroughs and everything just the same. But when you've got people that had never driven a tractor, but their enthusiasm was so great, I couldn't let them down. We've got to do it. So we did this thing. It took. Whereas we trained the majorettes, we literally did it inside a day. This was several, not weeks, but we didn't do it in less than 3 weeks, that's for certain. And we had to cope having different practices, and because the women have got, if I say other lives, the men have got other lives as well, but women have got children, they got husbands, they got shopping, they got all manner of things, and trying to get the team together all at the same time was nigh on impossible. But we persevered and we got it, and it was never perfect. Their routine was never perfect, but it didn't matter. We finished up with 12 drivers, and we got a couple of reserves, and we put them in the ring at the St Mawgan Rally, and so enthusiastic. It was brilliant. But I was there on the night before, and they were doing their first ring practice, and I was busy with other things, so Kathy was doing the running, and I was away. I knew what was going on, but I was seeing some last bits of organisation. I thought, what on earth's that noise? I could hear. I thought it was poultry. I thought, where's these chickens? I can hear these chickens, and it was these bloody women. They were when they were side by side, going down across the ring. They couldn't stop talking. They were talking to you, and there was 6 conversations going on. They hadn't got a clue what They were doing what they were supposed to do, but they weren't looking at Kathy, and they were all looking at it. It was really funny, but so I'm thinking, oh well, we're going to have a laugh. I'll have a bit of a laugh with a microphone, if nothing else. But come the day, I'll show you a bit of the practicing, and I'll tell you what happened. So we're ready for the practice, ready for the real thing. So they'd done their practice, and it couldn't get any better. We'd got the tractors going. I'd got 2 daughters in there. Kathy was still stood on the outside helping me. She was taking photographs and what have you. And Nikki and Ali were both in the team. We'd got various boyfriends and stuff's mechanics. And we'd give them some fairly good instructions what to do. Anyway, before they got in the ring, Nicky's tractor broke down. Well, luckily, it was a Taylor, and what am I going to do? Go and get another bloody tractor and stop messing about. So off she went and legged it. She got another tractor and came back into the ring. And I don't believe anybody knew that it was a problem, but she was found her place and got in the ring and got in the routine. And from that moment on, they never missed a beat. And we gave them 2 shows each day, so they had 4 shows over the weekend, and they were absolutely spot on. They never made a mistake. But did they get emotional when they'd done the first one? Got me there on the ring, and but it was great. The funny thing was, we did all that. The tractors behaved themselves in the ring, and when we stopped and did the final, they get off the tractors and do like a theatrical bow to everybody. And then there was one of the daughters of the one of the mechanics there, a younger girl, and she said, "Dad, can I?" No, it wasn't. It was a son. It was his son. Can I take the tractor out the ring? Yeah, that's all right. And before he got at the ring, the wheel fell off. So it was shit. So it was good fun. And so that was the Fergie Fillies, which was brilliant. But then we had the word come through that they would like to see the Fergie Fillies at the Royal Cornwall Show. Well, Fergie Fillies at St Mawgan Vintage Rally with maximum 2,000 people, might be 4,000 over the 2 days, go into a show where there's 120,000 people. That was, bloody hell. And anyway, I was up for the challenge, so I went up to see Chris Riddle, the organiser, and said, well, yeah, we'll have a go, but we'll need to practice in that ring. So, and I said, from 12 tractors, I think it'd be enough. We're going to want 16 tractors, and to have 16 tractors in the ring, you really want 2 spares. So that was 18 tractors, and we also needed some sponsors. So, because 18 tractors getting ready and taken up to the show was quite a thing, and so we needed a 19th tractor then to tow our sponsorship tractor in. So I got to gather up all these tractors, which we got to. Some of the girls' mind had got really keen, and there was probably 4 of them bought their own tractors. So, that was good. Husbands were keen mechanics, and they got them really good, and it was fine. So we got it so that we could go up to the Royal Cornwall Show, and on the Wednesday night before the show, we could practice in the main ring. Yeah, it was all agreed, fantastic. So got everybody revved up, go up to the main ring, and it's full of jumps. And you, oh shit. Well, clearly we couldn't practice in the ring, so I got hold of the ring steward and said, look, we need these jumps moved, we've got to practice. The jump setting up team had gone, we couldn't do it, so well, that's all right, you go and practice in one of the practice rings. So we went up to one of the practice rings, and we got in there, and okay, girls, away you go. And somebody else comes up, you can't practice in there, we've got to do something else in there, blah blah blah. No, you've got to go to ring 3. Oh, so ring 3, and we were going to be interviewed on television as well for that. They were coming to film us and see the girls practicing, and so we went to ring 3. Ring 3 is half the size of the main ring, so we couldn't even get the tractors all lined up to do it. So they got a challenge. Anyway, they did it, pouring down with rain. Everybody got drenched. We had the TV spotlight people there, and they interviewed us, and it was, I wasn't supposed to be interviewed. I had to keep out the way, and then they interviewed me the following day. But it was quite good. So they did their practice, because when it comes to main ring time, they'd never been in there, and you've got a lot of people there, and I thought the nerves are going to kill these girls. They're just not going to cope. But cope they did. We were all parked down in the vintage area. We had to come out of the showground by the back road, and then up the main road in front of the showground, in one of the main gates, or the main practice gate, and wait in the holding ring, ready to go into the main ring. So we've got 18 tractors there now, all running. I got my car there because that was going to be the fastest thing to tow in and get the ring if it went wrong. And it came to time to go in, and off they went. And because they hadn't been in the ring, they had no idea how good that ring is at the Royal Cornwall, and it's big. You know, when they go tootling down the ring in second gear, it seemed to take forever. And I'm there giving a commentary, telling about the girls, the different ones. They all come from different backgrounds, and it made a nice little story, but it was taking too long. But I couldn't do anything. It was too late. I couldn't do anything about it. So they finished it. We had one breakdown. Our mechanics were right out there straight away, and it was a silly thing that was wrong. But they come out with another tractor, swapped it over, and it all made for the fun of it, really. Because these tractors were 60+ years old, and it gave the crowd something to watch, I suppose. Weather wasn't brilliant, but we did it. So we did day one. It was okay. Did day two. That was okay. Day three, we got up there, and the main ring steward, who I got on well with, he said, look, you're going to have to cut your display a bit short. He said, we're running behind time, but it's the cattle parade or the grand parade. And he said, we cannot stop that parade. He said, if the first animals get up to that gate, they've got to come in, because the handlers can't hold them. So they've got to come in. Even if you're halfway through, we'll shout, you've got to come out. So, bloody hell. So I went to the girls and said, right, you're late. No, it's not your fault. It's the ring routine is late, but we've got to knock 10 minutes off this routine. The only way you're going to do it, you've got to go in top gear. And it was, oh my God, where are we going to cope? I said, well, that's it. If you don't, when he shouts, you've got to come out, regardless of where you are on the routine. Well, give them their due. They got in top gear, and they pissed it. It was so good, and they were buzzing. They got it really good, and it looked good. The tractors were zipping in and out of each other, and it was fantastic. Because I was stood in the ring, I was able to mention St Mawgan Vintage Rally and where it started, and give the story, and kept pumping it. So we got some fantastic publicity for our rally, which was in the September. So, I was able to say at the end of it, if you want to see the St Mawgan Fergie Fillies again, come to St Mawgan Rally, third weekend in September, come on the dates. Whoopie-doo, this is great. So that was how it was left. It was brilliant, wasn't it, eh? Well, once they finished the Royal Cornwall, I mean, they were buzzing. They were top team. There was no doubt about it. They put the Fords and Majorettes in the shade, although the Fords and Majorettes had been off and done a national show up at Newark. But it was just the fact it was all these women and girls doing it. The youngest girl in that team was probably 17 or 18, and the oldest one was, I don't say the age really, but almost pensioner, and they loved it, and so it was great. So now we've got this fantastic bit of publicity leading up to our rally, but the season was horrible. We had all sorts of it was a wet season all the way through. Lots of rallies got cancelled. Those that did keep going weren't very good, but our rally fields are usually dry. We'd had 12 rallies and we hadn't had a problem, and although we'd had one or two wet starts to the days, it always dried up quickly, it drained out, and we could go, and we got this lovely sense of security that we were okay. And all the time coming up to the rally, I'd got people saying, is the rally going to go on? Is the rally? Yeah, the fields are wonderful, they're ever so dry. And on the Thursday night before the show, we got people pulling in with caravans, and it was coming up on Facebook, can't believe how dry St Morgan is. Fantastic, you know, pulled in with the car and caravan, got parked up. Brilliant, we're going to have a great weekend. So we're all feeling pretty confident. We got ready and we got the rally fields good, looking like we're going to be the best ones ever, as long as the weather held. Well, on the Friday morning, I had an interview with Radio Cornwall, so I had to go down and sort that out. And by the time I got back, it was, I don't know, coming up for dinner time, I suppose. And I went up to see what was going on, and it'd been raining, and the mess inside the gate. I thought, Christ! I said, "You've got to stop. Don't take anything else in." They were starting to tow stuff in. I said, "Don't you tow anything in." I said, "If you've got to tow it in, we've lost the rally. So don't even think about it. Just send them away. Say, come back tomorrow morning. It'll be drier tomorrow. We'll sort it out in the morning." So that's what happened, and we still got our entertainment. We got a massive. We got a 100-foot by 40-foot marquee, which we bought out of rally funds, and you know, we knew that we'd got some evening entertainment we could do because it was nice and dry, wasn't it? So we did our Friday night entertainment and Saturday morning, and the weather didn't really ease up all day, so I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. On the Saturday morning, I met Chris Moncaster, a health and safety chap, and he said, "We're not going to be able to go." He said, "The entrances aren't safe." I said, "Chris, there's people coming from everywhere. We've got to do it." And with that, we stood in the marquee, and the heavens opened, and it absolutely sheeted down. I'll show you. It was wet. On the camera. Well, when you're faced with that, there's no doubt about it. I said, "Right, Chris, case done. No rally today." But the forecast for Sunday was brilliant. It was a really good forecast. So I said, "We'll just have to. I'll go in and see all the exhibitors, all the traders that are in place, and tell them to sit tight. You know, we're going to have a good day tomorrow. We should be okay." But it didn't really ease very much at all. But in the afternoon, it did start to dry, and I thought, we're going to get away with this. Now I was shattered because it takes it out of you when you're trying to think about these things. And everybody been working out all that week, but you know, any decision's got to be made. Dave, what are we going to do? Dave, what are we going to do? And they think, shit, you know, is it my responsibility to cancel this rally? It was a committee decision, but the committee was all looking to me to make the decision, so it's my decision. So I've got to be led by Chris and on all the ones, and we made the right decisions really. So I said about 4 o'clock, I said, "Look, we've got Johnny Kaling coming tonight. You know, those that know Johnny Kaling will know how good he is. Those that don't know him, he's fantastic. You know, he's done us proud. We've had him for a few years and really good." So we knew we were going to have a good night. So I said, I'll be back up at 8 o'clock when Johnny gets here, and you know, I'll see the night it, and I'll stay to tie the marquee up. Yeah, okay. No, all the organisers were shattered really. So I went home and had a sleep in the chair for a couple of hours and a cup of tea, and thought, right, I better get back up there. And when I went in through the gate, I thought, oh Christ, we'd had some more rain, and it was back to a shimmering mess in front of me under the lights. And I thought, oh no, nobody's going to turn up tonight. We got all this drink booked up, you know, without our Saturday night, you know, we were on a real hiding for nothing. So I plonked across. I thought, how on earth's Johnny going to get in here? Anyway, got in there. There's Johnny setting up on the stage. They'd been out with a quad bike or quad thing, and picked him up, got all his gear in there, and got his black shoes on his suit. Wasn't the best stuff for stomping through mud, but Johnny, you know, give him his due. He loved it. He just starts taking the piss straight away, and you've got to be good. And inside there was a lot of people in there. Where they'd all come from, I don't know, but it was, I thought, you know, like a big sense of relief come over me. We can go. This is fantastic. So go we did. You know, it was brilliant. We had this big crowd there, and everybody's having a wild time. Johnny knows how to get the crowd going, and it was really good. But it got to, well, it was getting near the end of his act, and I thought, there's a lot of people here with mud on them. You know, what's happening? And what had happened, I couldn't hear it and couldn't see it. We'd had another downpour while Johnny was on, and the water had come off this marquee, and it, you know, 40 foot, 100 foot long. We'd had 3 rivers of water running through the marquee, and it was that crowded in there, you couldn't see it. You know, it's just a bit wet underfoot. Well, it was seriously wet underfoot. And it got seriously wet, and there was mud everywhere, and it was, oh my God. But everybody was having a good time, so you couldn't stop it. And I'd had the word off of one of the ladies in our supporters. She said, I want to propose to Sue, I can't think of her surname now, but anyway, Sue wanted to propose to her intended, Tim Keat, at our rally. So we've got to encourage this, haven't we? So we got it all organised, and we managed to get Tim and Sue up to the stage, and John is on the stage, and I wanted to be there to take the photograph. So she proposed, and Tim accepted. Wonderful. But then I looked, and God, the mud that was there, and it was getting to the sides, and Johnny, clearly it was a disaster. There was mud everywhere, and Johnny finished his act, finished his thing, and I thought, well, I've got to thank him for what he's done, because, you know, he's made the night. So I went and got up on our stage, Iford Williams trailer, the only best stage you can have, and got the microphone, and I said, look, Johnny, I want the microphone in a minute, I want to thank you. So I got up on stage and thanked Johnny for what he did. I thanked all the people for turning up, and, you know, I said, it's a little bit messy in here, but you know, hopefully the weather will dry up tomorrow, and, you know, we'll have a great rally day, so come back and we'll see what we can do. And with that, somebody came up on the stage and he said, oh, let me have the microphone. I said, don't you start thanking me, because I don't want any of that. You know, no, I don't want to do that. So he grabbed the microphone, and he said, and he held up a £20 note, you see, and he said, right, he said, you can see that this rally's, you know, got problems this year, but they've done their best, and we've had a great night. I'm going to put £20 in a hat. He said, who's going to follow me? Anyway, they handed this hat round, and they collected £480 just on a hat collection, which I thought was fantastic. You know, it really showed the spirit of the thing. Johnny was now finished, so that's okay. And we have a disco following him, and the disco, brilliant. You know, he knows how to pump the music out, and so on comes the disco. Well, now this is getting some serious mud in there, and one person went down. In fact, I've not got to hold my hands up. Somebody tried to climb one of the poles, and I really hate that. It really irritates me, because, you know, if somebody falls off the pole, they're going to hurt themselves. But if they climb up the pole and they grab all the electrics and they drag the electrics down with them, they're going to hurt a lot more people. So I grabbed his legs and pulled him down the pole, and he fell backwards into the mud, and so he got a bit muddy. And I didn't give a shit. Serves you right. Well, then it was like, oh, that looks like good fun. So everybody's dived into the mud, and it was, well, I've got to show you, because you can't believe what it was like.
Almighty, just for not to knees in the shit here now. What's your first, Tim, if he will marry me? Shit, a ratto. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Tim, she asked me to ask you if you're bloody not. Look at dear her, she's been worried up about it. Hey?
Yeah, that job's right.
Yes?
Yeah, get on.
Yes! Yes! Okay. For Tim and Sue, Tim and Sue! What's her name, baby? Come on, Tim, baby. Here we go, loop the lights. And oh, let me see you shake. Come on, let me see you shake, tell me. Come on, let me see you shake, tell me. Come on, let me stumbling. Come on, shake it, shake it, shake it, come on. Shake it, shake it, shake it, come on. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Baby, it's alright. Oh, hello. And again. Baby, it's alright. We don't give no shit about no rain. We don't give a shit about no mud. 'Cause we're from Purple and we're insane. We're gonna party all night long. Here we go. So it's not a revolution from my head. 'Cause you said the brains I have into my head. Step outside the summertime's in bloom. Roll away. Stand outside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. You ain't never gone down my road. So Mawgan Rally 2017. She knows it's too late. We're walking on by. My son had to wait. You took me back in I heard you say, wait for Dave, wait for Dave. Is this the Facebook? 1, 2, 3. We don't give a shit about the rain. We don't give a shit about the bar. We don't give a rain. We love the birds. We love the birds. And again. So right now, baby, it's alright. Oh my God.
So it was. I stayed remarkably clean. I did have one girl try to get me down, but I got her on her back in the mud and in the best possible taste. But so it was okay. I was taking pictures and that was it. So I wasn't too bad. But some of them, they were absolutely plastered. And my three daughters were all there, and Harry, my grandson, he'd gone back home to get some better clothes on. And when he came back, because the pig fight had started, and he walked in, and the expression on his face was a real picture, because there was his mother and two aunties, and they were filthier than he was when he said he'd go home. And it was just a really great night. I can't tell you what the atmosphere was like, but it was brilliant. We went on till, I suppose we had 2 hours of this mud, and the staff would be on the bar. I mean, they'd had enough. So I was like, "Come on, we've got to stop. We've got to wrap this up." So we wrapped it up. And when they were going out, there was different ones coming. They shake them out. "Dave, fantastic rally. You know, you've got to do it like this again." I said, "You could bugger off. I don't ever want to see this again." Because this was our 13th rally, and that's why the 13 bit isn't so good, because it was a disaster in one way, but it was the most memorable, fantastic rally as far as our supporters were concerned, because they did it, and everybody talks about it. You know, it was St Mawgan Rally, despite being an absolute bloody washout, was the best. And when I walked out at night, I'd stopped and laced up the marquee, and I was sort of last man standing. There was dear old Angie that comes out with megabytes, a snack bar. She was there, and "All right, Dad, want some chips?" And "No, Angie, I want to go into bed." But I said, "Are you going to be able to get out?" I said, "Leave your trailer here. We'll get out tomorrow." Anyway, dear of her, she got out, but the mud outside was shimmering, and I thought, there's no way this rally is going to go ahead tomorrow, because we got to save the fields. We got an acre of mud there, and I wasn't prepared to get the rest of it like that. So although I went away, everybody thinking there was going to be a rally the next day, I knew in my heart of hearts it couldn't happen. So the following morning, got up there, and most people were quite sensible about it. But I went around the traders, and I said to the traders, "Look," I said, this rally cannot go on. I said, "It don't matter what it looks like here." I said, the entrance is shocking. I said, "We can't do cream teas in a sea of mud, and we can't serve beer, and it's not fair on anybody. It's just not going to work. And I don't want to go away being the disaster rally. I want this to be remembered as we made the best of it. Let's do it." So I said to them, "You get packed up," and I said, "When you're ready, let me know. Come and see me." And I said, "We've got some four-wheel drive tractors here, and we'll pull you out. I want to save the field." So that's what they did. They were good as gold. And they said about money back, and I said, "No." I said, I've always looked after you. I've made sure that you don't have to pay too much. But when we get a bad rally, you've got to help us." And they'd had some good rallies in the past. So as long as nobody else was getting the money back, they didn't give a shit. It was, "Yeah, all right, that's fair enough. Yeah, we've had a great time, and we always have a good rally. We'll see you next year," and blah blah blah. So it was pretty good. We had one or two of the traders, "Oh, I can get out. I got a Jeep. It'll get me out anywhere." I said, "Yeah, look at the bloody mess you're leaving behind you. So stop where you are. We'll get you out." And we did that, and it took all day. But the Sunday was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. If only we hadn't got the mud, it would have been fine. There was one comment on Facebook which I should have framed it really, and it was somebody complaining that while the committee were there enjoying themselves and making a mess, we lost our rally the next day. And I thought, Jesus Christ, if only you knew what we went through. Yeah, we made the best of it, but that wasn't any fun, believe me, and we certainly didn't do it intentionally. So there we are. So that was our disaster rally. The following year, that was 2018. We had an excellent rally. Everything, all systems go. Weather was good, made good money, and it put right the pot which had been emptied by the bad rally, and it just showed the importance. I'd always been saying, yes, we are trying to raise money for charity, but we can't give it all away. We've got to keep a reserve there just in case. And some of the old school, "No, well, it's all been for charity, we always give it away." Not now, we don't. It's too big an event. There's too too many things rely on it, so hang on to it. So we like to keep at least £10,000 in the pot, and if I had my way, I'd keep 20,000 there, but because it'll all go to charity eventually, but it's saving the rally. So 2018 was good. 2019, which is our 15th rally, that wasn't quite so good. It was just a bit damp, but still made fair money. The weather forecast killed us more than anything. The rally was actually good, but the forecast was not good, and so we didn't get the numbers through the gate. But still a good rally, and we're looking forward to 2020, this one. And of course, there's nothing we can do about this. It's absolute disaster. Well, not a disaster. We haven't spent any money, but we haven't made any money either. So, we haven't had to give anything away to charity. We are doing a project which we promised to do at the last rally, and we will go ahead and finish that. That's a disabled bathroom we're putting in for one of the team members, and we'll get it done. We ain't bust by any means, but we haven't got so much in our pot as I'd like. But this is St Mawgan Rally. We'll be going again next year, hopefully. If any rallies are going, we should be going. So that's it. So that's all about St Mawgan Rally. Hopefully you're still with me this far on, because it is important to us. There's a lot of us. I spend quite a lot of time thinking about the rally. I'm officially, well, I am chairman, but we've got a great committee. The one thing that I do find, I don't want to kick anybody else's rally because everyone runs differently, but we're so fortunate that most of the people that help with our rally aren't really rally supporters, and that might sound a bit stupid, but if you've got the hardest way to start a rally is to start it with a load of enthusiasts, because those enthusiasts want to be at the rally to play with their toys, show their toys off, and so you get the organisation done. But when the rally goes on, it sort of goes a bit flat, because it's not all about what happens in the ring, it's what happens around it, and that's why it's a job to keep a committee together, because reality hits, they realise how hard a work it is, and it falls apart. Whereas our committee is pretty sane. We've been doing it for quite a few years now. We haven't fallen out yet. Still time. But we don't want to be going on forever and ever doing the same thing. I did say that this rally would be my last one, because I hit one of those golden numbers. But I think I'll have to. I don't want to go out on this. I don't want to stop being stopped. So, I want one more good rally under my belt before I hand over to somebody else. And so we'll see. And the rest of the team's the same, really. We don't want to stop at this level. We want to leave the rally in a good, healthy state, and we don't want to leave it. Don't get me wrong. We'll still be there. It's not walk away, but it's time to bring some younger people into it and have a go. Hopefully they won't want to come in and change everything. They'll realise that what we got is pretty solid, and the way to keep it solid is just to fine tune it. It's what we've done right from the day it started. Really keep fine tuning. You'll get the critics will say, "Oh, it's the same old thing every year." Yeah, it is. But our numbers are going up every year. Our visitor numbers, and the visitor numbers are what pays the price. They're the ones that make the profit, and that's why we can give away more money to charity. And it may be the same old thing year after year, but our same old thing is pretty damn good. Although I say it myself, we've put a lot of effort into it. So you have to ignore your critics, and when I say that, it's sifting. If it's a genuine something's wrong, you've got to put it right. Some of the things that I think we do better than anybody else. Having done so many years at shows, I used to do 54 days a year away from home at shows, and I know that the biggest bugbear, the thing I hated most, was the toilets. Oh Jesus, I like proper toilet at home, clean and tidy, and when you go to these shows, some of them are like pigsties. So we've always, well, for a long time, we've spent money on toilets and make sure they're clean and tidy, and people go away remembering it. And we like our food and that to be really good if we can. When we do a country teas, some girls in the village come up and do country teas, and it's china cups and saucers, and it's all very petite and twee. And of course the moaners, oh, that won't work, they want polystyrene cups. Well, actually, we make good money on that, or the girls make good money on it, because people do like that nice cream tea, and they like to sit in there and somewhat a bit dainty, and it's somewhat different, so that works well. One of the tips I would give to anybody is our catalogue. When I got involved with it, the catalogue wasn't the best. There was adverts that people had paid for, and to make them fit, they'd turned some of them on their side, and I said, you can't do this, you've got to do something a bit decent. So I took over the magazine, the Rally magazine, and it's a soul-destroying job. You get these lists of exhibitors in there, and they've got to be dates, and you're waiting to do it. And one year I just ran out of time, and the printer was desperate for it, and I was waiting for these lists to come in for the secretaries, and he said, I've got to print. I said, put last year's list in. I said, we'll blame it on you, but it won't matter. We're not going to worry about it. So he put the list in, and nobody noticed. And I thought that just sums up all the heartache we put in for it, and nobody noticed. And funnily enough, last year I'd done my Friday night stint, and I never come up quite as early as some of them do in the morning, because I'm still there at 1 o'clock. So I rolled in about 8:30, and the boys were on the gate, and I stopped and had a word with them, and everything all right. Yeah. And I was in high spirits really. And as I'm driving through the gate and leaving them, I can see Mr. Grumpy coming over towards me, and I thought, oh, somebody's not happy here. So I was in the car, so I ran away. All right, no, I'm not. Well, what's wrong then? He said, I sent my entry form in, and I've looked in the catalogue, and he said, I'm not even mentioned in it. So he caught me then. So I said, well, I do the catalogue, and I said, and I hate the job. And I said, everybody else hates it as well, and that's why you're not in it. I said, we asked you to do it online, which means we can just print it straight off and it's easy. But you sent in a form, which means somebody's got to type it out. And I said, I ran out of time. I said, I've done everything else. So I've set the rally up, I've done this, I'll do that. And he was, when he started, he was, I ain't coming to this rally anymore. But Tommy said, no. I said, I'm ever so sorry. He said, I didn't realise how much you had to do. And he said, I love this rally. I'll be there next year. Sorry to complain. So sometimes you've got to just fire back a bit. So it was one of my better moments. So what else can I tell you? One thing we always get the people, the volunteers at the rally. There's always somebody moaning that, oh, well, so-and-so hasn't come to do this. And I said, what you've got to realise is everybody that does anything for this rally is doing it for nothing. Nobody gets paid, and it doesn't matter if they come up and do 5 minutes work. That's 5 minutes you haven't got to do. So, yes, it is frustrating, but there's always a core team that do most of it, and it's the same with every rally. We've got our list of rally volunteers. There's 80 people on it. It's a huge amount, and I'm sure every rally, if they work out who's involved with it, tea, car park, admissions, toilet cleaning, stewarding, ring announcing, all that, it's incredible how many people you've got to get there to volunteer to make that rally, and our figure is up to 80 people, and I really appreciate everything all those people do. It doesn't matter how little it is, it all helps. And even to the point where we've had somebody in a wheelchair folding raffle tickets, that's their bit towards it, and it's their rally. So it's not because we made them do it because we're slave drivers, but they wanted to help, and that's how you get the help, isn't it? So everybody can get involved. It's a friendly rally. Everybody says how friendly it is. Well, the reason it's friendly is because we are able to be friendly. And you know, if people are understanding, we get problems, we can get over it, but you've got to understand that you know, these things have to be sorted out. So that's it. I've probably rambled on long enough now, so I hope you're still with me. I hope it's entertained you. I'll try and leave you with some. I'm sure I've got some film here, but if not, I'll play some of the game. But just, you know, this is what we're all about. This is our St Mawgan Vintage Rally. We should be back again next year. It's the third full weekend. I think it's 18th and 19th or something like that next year, but doesn't matter. It's always the third full weekend. So, you know, come along and see what it's about. We've had people come from, if I say from all over the world. We had somebody from Australia last year came and spoke to me and said how much they'd enjoyed it, and somebody from Ireland came over. They'd read I write for Tractor magazine, and they'd read about it, and they thought they'd come over and see, and they thought it was great. You know, so it gives you a buzz when you get that. So, you know, it's not all about locals. They come from all over the country. Got a chap comes down from Yorkshire every year because he loves our show. You know, they got the Great Yorkshire Show there. It's and they comes down to our show and thinks it's great. So, you know, it gives you a nice warm feeling. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'll get back onto tractors next one. This is the nearly 14th and more than 12th blog, so hopefully it's all right. See you soon. Thank you for watching.